America, land of opportunity, dreams, and ambition. But there's a darker side to this land of freedom, a side paved with blood money, betrayal, and bullets. Today, we dive deep into 5 real gangster stories that left a permanent scar on American history. These aren't movie plots. These are real lives, real crimes, real consequences. Story 1. At New York's JFK Airport in 1978, one of the biggest cash robberies in American history took place. Led by James "Jimmy the Gent" Burke, an associate of the Lucchese crime family, the Lufthansa heist saw over $5 million in cash and nearly $1 million in jewelry stolen. The plan was military precise. The execution, flawless. But what followed was bloodshed. Burke, fearing snitches, systematically eliminated his crew members. The FBI had leads, but no witnesses. Nobody wanted to be next. Despite intense investigation and eventual inspiration for the film, Goodfellas, most of the money was never recovered.
Story 2. The Rise and Fall of the Latin Kings. Formed in the 1950s in Chicago, the Latin Kings began as a Latino pride movement. But in the 80s and 90s, they morphed into one of the most structured and violent gangs in the U.S. Under the leadership of Luis King Blood Felipe, they ran drugs, weapons, and extortion rings across multiple states. Felipe, even after incarceration, continued issuing orders from solitary confinement using coded letters. Eventually, federal authorities infiltrated the gang. Using confidential informants and wiretaps, they arrested Felipe and other key members. He received life in solitary confinement without parole. While the group still exists, its influence is fractured.
Story 3. Sam Giancana and the Chicago Outfit. Sam "Momo" Giancana was the face of the Chicago Outfit in the 50s and 60s, tied to the Kennedy family, the CIA, and the Vegas casino empire. Giancana was a key figure connecting organized crime and U.S. politics. Allegedly involved in CIA plots to assassinate Fidel Castro, Giancana was later subpoenaed to testify before a Senate committee. Days before his testimony, he was found murdered in his basement, shot in the back of the head. The case remains unsolved, but his life paints a picture of how organized crime once reached the highest echelons of power. Story 4. MS-13 and the gang war era. MS-13, Mara Salvatrucha, started in Los Angeles in the 1980s among Salvadoran immigrants. It grew into one of the most feared international criminal gangs, known for brutal executions, machete attacks, and organized drug trafficking. Spreading through the U.S., Central America, and Mexico, MS-13 thrived in neighborhoods plagued by poverty and deportation policies. FBI task forces and Homeland Security units have spent decades battling them, with thousands of arrests and large-scale deportations. But the gang's decentralized structure makes it hard to dismantle completely. Story 5. The Pizza Bomber, Brian Wells Case. In 2003, Erie, Pennsylvania, saw one of the strangest and most disturbing crimes in FBI history. Brian Wells, a pizza delivery man, walked into a bank with a collar bomb strapped around his neck, claiming he was forced to rob the bank. Moments later, surrounded by police, the bomb detonated. Investigators uncovered a twisted conspiracy involving a scavenger hunt of clues, a greedy mastermind named Marjorie Deal Armstrong, and several accomplices. The plot was so bizarre, it inspired the Netflix documentary, Evil Genius. These stories show that real crime doesn't need Hollywood to be terrifying. From mafia dons to street gangs, Every name here represents a chapter in America's criminal underworld. These aren't just tales of greed and power. They're reminders of how far people will go and what it costs in the end. If you want more real stories like this, hit that subscribe button and let us know which story shocked you the most. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.